Hey everybody, welcome back to the Apartment Geek Weekly. I'm your apartment broker, investor, leader, Chris Robinson. So thanks for tuning in. So this week, if we've found an apartment building we want to purchase and we've already vetted that property on the rents and the expenses and the cap rate and gross rent multiplier, and it makes financial sense, which is another topic we can talk about later. If it makes financial sense and you want to move forward with due diligence and put this thing in escrow, what are we going to look at on the property characteristics or the inspection to kind of fulfill this purchase and make sure we're going to make a sound decision? So on the first thing I look at is who owns the property now. Do they have other properties? If they have other properties, I want to go drive by the other properties to get a general sense of the condition of those other properties. And has this been owned a long time by this current owner, or has the property traded hands for 3-4 times in the last decade? If it has, be cognizant of that. Maybe this is something where it's not the best property once you purchase it. It's not, it's not valued as much, or maybe there's issues that come up, harder to rent out, you can't push rents, whatever it is. Understand kind of who owns it, not necessarily why they're selling it, doesn't need to be your business, but that's a big one. When was it built? So I've been doing this is my 18th year, so I've gotten pretty comfortable, and I've started to see trends on different time periods of construction. So I own something built in the late 1800s in Bankers Hill, all the way up to something in the late 80s in North Park. And depending on the decade and the part of that decade, believe it or not, we can actually get down and kind of start to see trends of like plumbing and electrical and quality of workmanship, quality of materials being either better or worse. So understand, like, I like stuff that was built in the 50s and 60s. A lot of the old countertop stuff is really cool, the retro stuff. Some of the old product can be excellent, but you have to understand how it's been cared and maintained, and again, going back to how many years has the previous owner owned it, and generally how has it been cared for. Exterior of the building, so we're going into the inspection, due diligence, inspections today. What are we focusing on? Roof, obviously big. Water intrusion, we want to look at the base around the property, any kind of areas where there's a lot of dirt, landscaping, shady areas where there's not as much sun. We want to make sure those areas are dry, and they're going to stay dry, where there's not going to be a bunch of water intrusion issues. The catwalks and the walkways is a big one, so you want to make sure that those are sound, there's no big sloping areas, or it's not real soft when you walk on the second level or third level of the property. Including the stairs too. If you have to go into that stuff, it just gets real expensive. Plumbing, you want to kind of generally look at that. You want to get a pipe inspector to run a camera. This is a huge one. I've saved clients a bunch of money because they found issues and mitigated them. The main lateral line from the plumbing, the sewer out to the street where it connects with the city, you want to make sure that that's in sound condition, and just get the blessing of a pipe inspector that, yeah, this looks like it's in pretty good condition. Maybe it's a little clogged, you can run a jet through there or a snake, but you can deal with it without having to go trench up the main line and replace something that may be corroded or not even there. I've seen situations that are just really crazy. Interior of the property, cabinets, that's the big one. If you got bad cabinets, particle board, just realize that a new kitchen for just cabinets is going to be about $4,000. So, be aware there. Counter or bathtub surround and the actual shower tub, those can get real expensive if there's cracks and there's water going in behind there. You've got to go in and replace that stuff. So I really focus on that. I want to, hopefully, in a perfect world, those are in pretty good, clean condition. The plumbing that's attached to those as well, if it's really bad and you've got it looks like maybe maybe you have a plumber that goes in the inspection with you and kind of look at some of that stuff, like the faucets and the hot and cold. Those are the big ones. Countertops as well. So something where you can maintain it or refinish the countertop and not have to go replace it with quartz or granite is going to save you a bunch of money. The other stuff is pretty easy. Flooring, baseboard. Or be aware also of taking the popcorn off the ceiling if it's a pre-78 building. You don't want to get in trouble with the city or get fined if there's asbestos in that popcorn that you take off to kind of modernize the unit. So those are the big things I look at when I'm purchasing real estate. Again, that I've already kind of vetted the building for the financial wherewithal and it's going to make sense. So hopefully there's some gold nuggets in there. That's what I'm here to do. And I am available if anybody out there wants to sell real estate or purchase real estate. We're open for business. We're rocking and rolling. I've been doing this a long time, so we're great at what we do. Thanks for tuning in.